Hello, guys. This is Jack, and today we're going to be talking about the SAGS and the DGA nominations. So the list came out while I was working, so I wasn't able to fully prepare myself for some of the fuckery that you will see on the screen. But before I even do anything, I want to say that the LA fires that are happening right now, it's pretty tragic. So you got to put your prayers up a little bit about that and just keep that in mind, because I think right now we shouldn't be really focusing on this thing. But yeah, hopefully everybody is safe and secure during these really crazy times in terms of climate change and everything. But yeah, my prayers for the people in LA. So now let's actually get to the meat of the thing that I've been doing for the past couple of weeks, is reacting to lists and stuff dealing with Hollywood. So yeah, let's get into it. So I'm actually going to start with the male actor in a leading role category, which is really just locked up. This is it. You have Adrian Brody for The Brutalist. You have Timothy Chalamet for A Complete Unknown. You have Daniel Craig for Queer, which was kind of on the cusp. I say this because you saw a couple days ago that Sebastian Stan won for A Different Man, and people were just like, oh yeah, he's number 5. But no, I think Daniel Craig is now the number 5. And then you have Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing, Ralph Fiennes for Conclave. This is just completely locked up. There is nothing to be said about these 5. I think it's a perfect 5, in my opinion. I think Daniel Craig puts on one of his best performances that I've ever seen from him. And the rest of these people are doing their best work. I don't have any complaints whatsoever with these top 5 people. So moving on, let's get into outstanding performance by a female actor in a leading role who is female. I said actor, female actor. So this category is just fucking wild. You have Pamela Anderson for The Last Showgirl, who appeared at the Golden Globes, surprisingly. And people thought oh shit, she's just going to be here at the Golden Globes and that's it. But it turns out The Last Showgirl is doing pretty well, and now she's nominated. And I think she kicks out Fernando Torres, which wasn't really a thing at the SAGs because they're not super international friendly. And also, Angelina Jolie is in fucking trouble. She is on red alert. You gotta take into account that if she misses everywhere else, she missed at BAFTA with the long lists, she's not doing well anywhere else. The movie itself is not doing pretty well, or not being seen. The Oscar nomination is her last option, and if she loses out there, then it's Angelina Jolie over. Cynthia Erivo for Wicked, she's here. I'm glad. A lot of people were kind of underselling her potential, but that's just fucking wild. Wicked's pretty big. Why would you not have Cynthia Erivo in the conversation as the leading actress of the movie? And then Carla Sofia Garcon for Emilia Perez haven't missed. I keep stuttering, but yeah, she hasn't missed. She's not gonna miss anywhere else. Same with Mikey Madison for Honora, and Demi Moore for The Substance. She keeps getting stronger and stronger, just her clone in the movie. I have nothing else to say other than I am worried for Angelina Jolie. Amy Adams is done. She is dead. Goodbye. Goodbye, Saoirse Ronan for The Outrun. That's another nomination that I thought she had a strong showing up here, but it turns out it's not gonna happen. And yeah, she's basically done. I'm trying to see what else I can say about this category over here. Yeah, I mean, Nicole Kidman also missed here, which was really surprising because this was also her last option to get nominated. She can also get the Oscar nomination if, the Volvi Cup win at Venice takes into account. But I think at the end of the day, I'm leaning more towards Pamela Anderson and Fernando Torres fighting it out for one of those slots, and also Marianne Jean-Baptiste. She's been doing pretty damn well with the regional critics wins, and I think she won the trifecta, so you have to take that into account. So just a quick editor's note before I export this video. I want to talk about the Fernando Torres nomination at the Golden Globes and the win. To clarify a little bit, because I think she has a shot of getting the Oscar nomination solely because of the passion for the film, especially when the film came out at the Toronto Film Festival and also Brazil. It's doing pretty damn well over there in Brazil, and everybody is just in love with her, and I can definitely see her just like getting in for just that alone, especially since Sony Pictures Classics is fumbling hard with The Room Next Door and The Outrun, so they can just push the fuck out of Fernanda Torres for the Best Actress award and maybe a win if the film truly does numbers for the Oscars. But that's actually just my small analysis of the, Fernanda Torres situation. Now, going forward to the Emilia Perez situation, the backlash that's going on the internet, I think the backlash on the internet doesn't translate to real life, where if you saw the Globes the other day, they love Emilia Perez. Like, it's doing fucking great for international people. It won the European Film Awards. It swept over there. Carlo won over there. It won the Cannes top prize for Best Actress by splitting it all for, the actresses in the movie. But I think what is going to hold the film back is its polarization with audiences, not on the internet, but also just like in real life. I think personally, if the film is becoming to be seen on Netflix, it's going to be a half and half situation where you're going to see, some people just like passively enjoying it, just like, oh, it's a fun musical, like what's, the problem with it? But then, you'll have the other people who want to start up shit and will, negatively react to the film. But I think it will cancel it out. Like, it'll just be just a tepid response, and it's not going to like move anything in terms of it losing out, the Best Picture nomination or win, because like I said again, international people really love Emilia Perez. Now, I will say this, the film itself is very problematic, and you should be listening to a lot of the reviewers who've reviewed Emilia Perez, and some people just like me who have problems with it, but also queer voices, trans people, Spanish people especially, who have been dogging the movie mainly because of the accents varying across different actresses, including Selena Gomez. But I think you should take into account just, the little small backlash that it's getting. It's overblown to a point where people are losing the plot of why the movie is being, conceived as a problematic movie. People are just hating it out of spite. People are just out of pocket, straight up hating it, even though I haven't seen the movie. And if you are one of those people, your opinion is invalid, and you should be watching the movie, and then once you finish the movie, you have opinion. But it seems like these people on the internet are just, dogging it because you just saw one clip of that Doctor song, which I get, it's very campy. But, if you haven't seen the context of which the film is trying to portray, which is a campy, fantasy musical filled with just wild shit, then yeah, of course, you're going to take that one clip and go oh, see, this movie's bad. But if you haven't seen the entire film or the context of what it's trying to portray, then yeah, of course, you're going to, hate the movie on basis of just one clip. And just the people who have seen the movie, who've talked about it, but aren't completely giving their full thoughts about the movie. They're just going oh, it's problematic because of this and this and this. And it's just okay. But I think also some of the, technical aspects of the film is pretty nice. The performances are really good. And I think the music is hit and miss, but it might work for some people. But yeah, overall, I thought the movie was decent. But yeah, I think that's just my final note with, Emilia Perez and Fernanda Torres. I think these two things are just really taking my mind and throwing it, beating it over the head. So yeah, back to the video. Moving on, outstanding performance by a male actor in a supporting role, starting with Jonathan Bailey for Wicked, which was fucking insane. They loved Wicked. They also really loved Nora with Yura Borisov. And then Kieran Culkin for Real Pain. He's not going to miss. He's going to sweep, I believe. Edward Norton for A Complete Unknown. That's typical. And then you have Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice, which that's kind of cool. I think The Apprentice is going to have still issues with, American voters. But I think international people are going to just love The Apprentice because the Trump cycle is not like ramming themselves into a dark hole on the media spectacle in other countries compared to America. So that's pretty cool. I'm trying to like figure out how the fuck Clarence Macklin just completely wasn't like here. Like this was probably, I think, the best case scenario for Clarence Macklin, especially the entire Sing Sing ensemble. We'll go deep into why I think Sing Sing flopped here. But yeah, like Clarence Macklin like losing out here is just, it's sad. And I'm almost ready to put Sing Sing to bed, but I will go a little bit further on that a little bit later on the video recording. Sorry, I'm like getting really fucking hyped up. So moving on, female actor in a supporting role, Monica Barbaro for A Complete Unknown. That's a really surprising nomination. I didn't expect it, but she's damn good in that movie. Jamie Lee Curtis for The Last Showgirl, that's the laughable nomination because I saw The Last Showgirl at TIFF and I thought it was an okay movie, but Jamie Lee Curtis's performance in that movie is just, it's laughable because she's just playing the wine mom character for like the entire movie. Her character doesn't have like a dynamic performance type of thing to really like latch onto. Instead, it's just like, oh, I'm drunk, I'm like drinking a lot and smoking and I'm having fun and that's it. Danielle Deadwyler for The Piano Lesson. I'm glad she's fucking back. Like, y'all people are like sleeping on The Piano Lesson. That movie was hard as fuck and I really enjoyed it, and I'm just like mad that you guys are not like digging it. But I'm glad like Danielle Deadwyler's here. I hope she secures the Oscar nomination. Sorry, I'm like going super crazy with my reactions. You know, it's award season, guys. But yeah, Ariana Grande, Wicked, predictable. Same with Zoe Saldana for Emilia Perez. It's pretty predictable. I would say that Zoe Saldana has the edge right now because of a Golden Globe win, but watch out for Ariana Grande. And I would say also with Timothée Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, I think he has a good shot to win here. Best performance by a cast in a motion picture. Now, this is where I'm just like, okay, this makes sense. Like Anora, Conclave, Emilia Perez, and Wicked, those were, you know, all predicted. But A Complete Unknown taking, you know, the slot over Sing Sing is just, that's just fucking wild, bro. I don't know, like, how the fuck Sing Sing just, like, flopped with just the award season in general. Like, I don't understand. And I will never understand because the only way I can, like, kind of comprehend the reason why it's not doing so well is because of the release date. It came out in August to, like, I think, like, 500 theaters, and then it was supposed to expand, and then A24 just pulled the plug, and that caused the film just completely free fall from grace. And now they're trying to restart the campaign. It's apparently supposed to come out next week in major theaters, but I think the damage is like already done. I think A24 right now is just focused on The Brutalist, and they're just going to be completely focused on The Brutalist and only like Coleman Domingo and Clarence Macklin for those nominations. But it seems like Clarence Macklin is pretty close to done, and I can tell that Sing Sing might miss out the Oscars for Best Picture. Like, it's pretty close. I'm not ready to like put it to bed yet. I have that like little like hope of, you know, in my mind. Just kind of like the same thing I did with Emilia Perez last week, where I was just like, I believe, you know, Honora might like take the musical comedy award, but I think Emilia Perez can actually take it. Sorry, actually Honora for drama. I should clarify, Wicked for musical comedy. And then you see Emilia Perez won. But yeah, like this entire like list is just, it's weird, and I think this whole like season right now, it's unpredictable. I'm coming out of it as just very excited to see which scenarios play out. Well, in my mind, I think personally, Mikey Madison versus Demi Moore, that's the number one thing. And then Ariana and Zoe Saldana, let's just see how that happens. I'm still rooting for Zoe, but I think Ariana has a chance to take it. Timothy has a really good shot to win here. If not, then Adrian Brody can win it, and then it could be caused as a sweep type of deal. But that's just the SAGs. Let's actually talk about the DGAs, which were fucking wild because there's one snub from the DGAs that is just like what the fuck? Like, how did we get here? Why? So let's just pull up the list as I, skim around Oscar race Reddit. So the DGA did some fucked up shit. First off, Jacques Audiard for Emilia Perez. That was the most sense. I expected that. Same with Sean Baker for Honora. But Edward Berger for Conclave also as well. I was kind of, predicting that. It's a safe choice. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I would have expected Coraline Farge to do it for The Substance, but I guess Conclave is pretty strong, and you should be, putting your little thinking glasses on and seeing if Conclave can actually make it past, the underrated frontrunner status that it is right now. I think it's top 3 in my opinion for winning Best Picture. Brady Corbett for The Brutalist, that's expected also as well. I'm glad he's here. But the one, nomination choice that I'm looking at, it's what? How? James Mangold for A Complete Unknown. Child, what are we doing here? I thought James Mangold's direction in A Complete Unknown is just perfectly average. It's nothing to write home about compared to, Edward Berger, who is, it's kind of a perfectly fine directed movie, but at the same time, he's using a lot of dialogue to make it feel, immersive, especially, Brady Corbett doing the same thing. But I think James Mangold is the perfect dad director who is just a director that works for, the older generation, but not with the newer generation. But yeah, this is just wild. James Mangold getting the A nomination and Denis Villeneuve missing out. That's just insane. I don't know how that happened, but I think the first thing was the release date for Dune 2. It coming out in March, I think, kind of killed it, in my opinion, because it just opened up, the potential frontrunner status immediately. Just Honora had the same thing when it premiered at Cannes and won the Palme d'Or. But I think if Dune 2 premiered a little bit later in the fall, I think Denis haven't been, so vulnerable. But now you see it, and it's just damn, that's just fucked up, bro. It's one of the most egregious stumps that I've seen so far this year in the season. So yeah, R.I.P. Denis. He's just at the end of his entire awards potential. I don't know if he can make it for the Oscar nomination, but it seems like it's pretty much the end for Denis. Hopefully the third movie just blows everybody out of the water again and causes everybody to give him his flowers as he deserves it. But yeah, this is just literally my Joker moment right now. But you can also take just mostly the account of one thing that I'm analyzing, Sing Sing. Goodbye, Sing Sing. But my analysis right now is that they love A Complete Unknown. The international people, especially, after the Globes, really love Emilia Perez, and it's going to be a threat to the Oscar race. The Wicked overhype is slowing down to the point where John M. Chu couldn't even make it here. So yeah, I think it's probably just Ariana Grande potentially winning the supporting actress role here. What else observations that I can pull out of my ass? Let's just see, because I read a couple of comments on Reddit, and I think somebody made a really great point that I saved. I think the recency bias is gonna, of course, help a lot with these contenders, especially A Complete Unknown and Wicked. Those two movies came out near at the end of the year, and it's just been staying in the conversation for weeks on end. Sing Sing's literally dead. It's gone. It's done. I think we should just wrap it up, especially with Clarence Macklin missing out here at SAG. It's sad. Daniel Craig getting in for Queer, despite mixed reviews. It's pretty good. I was rooting for him. I thought he wouldn't make it because of the movie being very polarizing, but he's here, and now he's the Actors 5. Pamela Anderson and Jamie Lee Curtis getting in out of nowhere is pretty nice, and it actually causes the race to turn on its head with the Best Actress category at the Oscars. It's always been like this with the Best Actress category being very contentious. And Nicole Kidman and Angelina Jolie are pretty much close to being done. I'm still kind of holding out on both of them, especially Angelina Jolie. I think her narrative is pretty strong still, with her coming back to the acting realm, but still holding out on her, including Nicole Kidman especially her like winning the Volvi Cup for Baby Girl at Venice. And then also, I forgot to mention, The Brutalist did not get into an ensemble for SAG, and it didn't get in for Guy Pearce and Felicity Jones, which is just fucking wild, bro. Like, I don't know how the fuck that happened. Especially Guy Pearce. Like, I understand Felicity Jones. Her character shows up in the second half of the film. So by the time you're like getting like an hour, 40 minutes into the movie, you're already like attentive to Guy Pearce and Adrian Brody. And then as soon as Felicity Jones steps into the picture, the film changes deeply into another side of the narrative. But these two actors like missing out is just fucking wild. And just missing out ensemble in general kind of means that The Brutalists right now, it's still strong, but I don't know if it's like that strong. Yeah, Yuri Borisov getting in for the SAG nom is pretty fucking nice. He's secure. Jonathan Bailey getting in out of nowhere is kind of fucking crazy. Jeremy Strong getting in for The Apprentice and No Sebastian Stan is just fucking wild. You can say goodbye to Denzel for Gladiator 2. Gladiator 2 in general is just, it's done. It's over. Cole can sweep. And also, at the end of the day, A24 just did probably one of their worst campaigns this year. Probably in like the last few years. I don't know like how it felt a couple years ago, but I think after Everything Everywhere All at Once won Best Picture, they've kind of been like slacking with the top of the line categories for, you know, the awards season. And it seems like they've just been like slipping, and they've just been focusing on like one movie at a time, especially with like Sing Sing just completely flopping. I think as soon as they like acquired The Brutalist at Venice, it just opened up, you know, a red flag for Sing Sing and Queer. Even though Queer wasn't acquired at Venice, it eventually got acquired, I think like a couple weeks before TIFF started. But yeah, that's just fucking sad. But that's just basically my analysis of the entire SAGS and DGA thing right now. I'm just like disembodied with like everything that's like happening. We're going like way too fast. There's the ACEs that are coming up pretty soon, the PGAs, Oscar nominations next week, Critics' Choice, I think on Sunday, but I think it's also delayed because of the wildfires that are happening right now. So we might have some more time to talk about that. But yeah, everything's just going fucking crazy right now, and I'm really excited. I'm just excited for this season. I think it's gonna be like a fucking like wild season with just unexpected wins. I'm predicting more like unexpected nominations coming around, especially with the Oscars. I think the Oscars are gonna either fall in line or just completely go AWOL with nominations. And you're gonna see a lot of like left field stuff at the Oscars, I believe, since this year is kind of like all over the place. But yeah, that's just basically my analysis of this current race, the SAGs, the DGA nominations. So yeah, that's basically it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I'm like super all over the place and kind of like going fucking crazy, but yeah, I just love this. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will be reviewing Better Man pretty soon. And yeah, take care. Peace out.